Welcome back to Women Who Move, the podcast where we sit down with women who are building, leading and reshaping business on the Gold Coast and beyond. Today's guest needs almost no introduction. If you live anywhere in Varsity, Palm Beach, Miami, there's a chance that you have queued up for a UAE Bagel. I certainly have. Emily Hugo is the co-founder of UAE Bagels, a business that started from a food truck and has become, honest to God, guys, like this is a Gold Coast phenomenon. Emily, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honoured.
I am so excited to have you. I am one of those people that have lined up. But what listeners don't know is I get my coffee every single morning almost from Emily. They do the best cold brew on the Gold Coast, hands down. Best bagels too. But
Thank you.
it is definitely my go-to, and I love that I see them everywhere. So this is a really pinch me moment. I love this. I love seeing, like, instead of you rushing around the back end, grabbing things, like this is like, oh, now you're in my world. Well, usually I'm running into your world with the girls yelling in the car. Look, take us back to the beginning. You and Mitch discovered bagels while you were living in Canada.
Yeah.
What was it about that experience that you kind of went, oh my God, I need to bring this home? And what kind of those early days look like? I guess I want to know what made you bring them back, and then also go into the food truck first as well.
So I think for us, like when we came back from Canada, there was no bagels really on the coast, and we've always kind of said that, and it was something that we were always passionate about doing, was some sort of food business. We just didn't know what it was at the time.
Did you have a background in that?
Yeah, so Mitch and I kind of managed food and beverage operations in ski resorts while we lived in Canada, and we'd come back to Australia for a bit. Our visas were up, and then we went and lived in Japan when COVID hit. So we kind of had no opportunity but to kind of come home and start our own thing. And we'd worked on the Gold Coast, and look, it wasn't, some of the people that we worked for wasn't the best, and that's okay. Like everyone has their own management styles, but I had
Simone on from Hideaway, and she said, it's very cutthroat.
It is.
It can be, especially for women. She's really championed for women in the food and beverage industry and hospitality, and she just said it can be so hard for a woman, especially in management.
Hugely. And I think at the moment, sidestepping from that, there is a really big movement with some amazing people on the coast and some amazing women in business. And I think as well a bit of a generational shift as well, with younger people coming through that really want to kind of work together. But we started in a food truck, and we didn't actually have bagels as our first thing. We had a few different options. We had cob loaves in our menu. We had, what else was there? There was a Mexican menu as well, and then we had bagels. But the bagels really kind of took off for us because we had gone out on a hike up to Springbrook one day, and Mitch came home. He's like, oh, I'm really craving a bagel, but there is nothing here.
Yeah.
So we made it at home, and we went, oh, this is a great business opportunity for us to put into our food truck. And that's kind of how the love started. It was something that we could do passionately, that we could do from start to finish, and that was always our goal. We wanted to provide really good food no matter what we did.
You didn't have to outsource it, something that you guys could be very much involved in.
Yeah, we know every step of the way, and we know where all of our food is sourced from, and that's kind of how the food truck love came about. And we chose a food truck because it was in the middle of COVID, so owning a shop and bricks and mortar was pretty, awful in that time. Yeah. And that allowed us to kind of travel. So when lockdowns were happening on the Gold Coast, we were able to move our food truck out to Warwick. So that was where Mitch's parents are, and we could do a lot more trade out there, and then we'd move it back here. And we could just kind of pivot with that.
Also, that's amazing that's what, like, I didn't know that story. Like, you because bricks and mortar, that was the hardest time. People were doing, obviously Uber Eats and everything was taking off, but there was nowhere else you could get food.
That's right. And I feel like even in that time as well, you're kind of damned if you went against the rules, and you're damned if you went with the rules. And
they kept changing as well.
That's right. And it was so hard. And I was working full-time as well through that time. And, it was a real struggle for where I was. And I was in a corporate business at that time. So for us, the food truck was a great way to move around. And we were able to also pivot. So every time that something would happen, we could be like, okay, how do we chop and change the business model to make it work for us? So when lockdowns were happening on the coast and we couldn't go anywhere, we would make in our food truck all of our bagels, put out posts to the community and say, hey, who wants some bagels? And we'd drive up and down the Gold Coast delivering fresh bagels to people. And we still have like those customers from day dot still with us now, like 4.5 years later.
That's amazing. That's probably go down as one of the most unique stories. Like, not many people go like, I made it through COVID, or this taught me this. You're like, no, we created this through that. What point did you kind of guys go, okay, this is actually something? Like, how long were you guys in the food trucks before you went to your bricks and mortar?
To be fully honest,
Yeah.
I still don't even feel like it's something. Like, I still feel like we're
What?
just this. Yeah, like
I lined up for 30 minutes, girl, at Palm Beach. What do you mean? Like, I am like calling ahead, going, is the grilled cheese in today?
Yeah,
Like,
it's just a real, I don't know, like, I still pinch myself every single day that I'm like, here we are. And if someone recognizes the logo and they go, oh, do you work for UAE Bagels? I'm like, oh, I own it. And they're like, that's insane. Like, do you know, I think for me, that's still, I'm very humbled by the fact of where we are in business, but I still aspire to be bigger. And, you know, I'm not chasing money. I aspire to be bigger because that's how I've always been and driven in life. But, yeah, I still don't always necessarily think it is something. I think we can continue to grow. And I think that also by thinking that way, it keeps me humble and going, you know what, I'm not going to, you know, bad talk anyone or, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no,
like,
I know, exactly. It
keeps me humble.
I think as well, like what you were saying about the generational thing as well, I think that younger people going into business, it is a different mindset. There's space for everybody.
Yeah.
No one needs to badmouth anyone. I have that especially in my industry. Like the women have really banded together in real estate. We're now working alongside. There's no, it's not as it's cutthroat as far as the industry goes, but I feel like younger women are now like, I'm not going to work against you, I'm going to work with you. Yeah. But I love what you're bringing, because I always tell my girls that you can't be what you don't see. That's and right. Just having people like you doing these things, it amazes me how humble you are, because yes, I literally am like, I love watching all the new stores, everything that's happening. It obviously hasn't always been perfect. There's obviously been some hard parts. What has been something that I guess that you've learnt in the past 4 years or plus, what was one of the challenges when you especially were starting out? Yeah,
I think money is something that a lot of small businesses, and especially food and beverage, go into it and they put themselves in all this debt. And it was something that we had to learn. It's like, where can we save money? And I think that's what's kind of got us ahead. And there's been lots of different challenges. I mean, gosh, every day there's still a challenge. Like, you know, we're trying to move our baking from our varsity location over to Palm Beach at the moment, and that was meant to be done a month ago, but it's just been one thing after the next. A delivery hasn't arrived, or, you know, someone's sick or something has happened. But I think still, to some of the challenges that we faced, what my biggest thing is making sure that I can pivot. I think that's the challenge in itself, is being able to pivot on the spot.
Being adaptable as well.
And being adaptable. Like, you know, not everything's going to go to plan. And I think on camera, or when you see us in store, you see me smiling, and like, that's my job, right? Like I know every customer that walks in. I know their coffee order. I know their food order. I know what's going on in their lives. I know their dogs' names, and that's how I am. But behind closed doors, it has been hard. And, you know, I'm very grateful that I have Mitch that's with me, and we've been able to do this together. But the challenges that face with that is learning together as well, because, you know, we still don't know everything by any means.
Holly loves when I do this, but I love going broke. Sometimes I'm like, I know I've got these pre-recorded questions, Hol. I know they're great, but just going back to you and Mitch, like, you guys are very young to start. You know, back in the day, like, it's not common for young. Like, I'm loving that it's happening more now.
Yeah.
But did you guys get any pushback because of your age in the hospitality industry? Like,
huge.
Yeah. Like, I'm just, even the way you're speaking now, and I'm like, wow, there would have been. Because it was a disruptor. Like, bagels weren't on the Gold Coast. It wasn't something. And obviously there's a lot more that's come out since you guys have come out, but really not that many, to be honest with you. No. But did you get pushback on that? Did you find that intimidating? And
yeah, I think, full transparency, we had a lot of money saved for a house deposit, and we were at the crossing point where we're like, do we buy a house or do we invest this into our business? And
I'm a real estate agent. I'm like, you should buy a house. No, I'm so happy you did it. I'm so happy.
And like, for us, it's a lot of money, and it was really scary. And we were down to our last couple of $1,000s in our account after spending everything on buying our first shop. And the amount of people that said, it's not going to work. And they're like, you know, you should put in like a wet food bar, because of where we are in varsity in the industrial state. They're like, you should have curries, or you should do cakes, or you should do this. And Mitch and I were like, no, we're going to stay really true to us, and we're going to do, you know, the KISS philosophy, keep it simple, stupid. We're going to do bagels. We're going to do it well. We're going to do coffee. We're not going to do virality kind of stuff. We're just going to do what we do and do it well. And we were like, you know what, if we're here for 5 years in varsity, 10 years in varsity, hey, maybe we'll open another store in 10 years. And, you know,
so varsity was your first store?
It was our first store.
Because I obviously know you from Miami.
Yes.
And you've also got Palm Beach.
Yeah, so Miami's been open for about 1.5 years. Palm Beach has been open for just under 3 years.
Yeah.
And then varsity will be 4 this year. And then our food truck we bought in 2020.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm loving, because obviously like you're my local.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, they've always been here. This is I love hearing that. And I guess for you guys, one thing I would really say is that it is quality. Like everything. I do love when I get, like, don't love as a customer, but I love as your friend, like, we're sold out of this. Like, it's like, that is a really big, like, accomplishment. Like, oh yeah, this one's sold out, or that one's like, there was the other day, it was 7:30 and the grilled cheese.
It's like the most popular one. It's just
sold out. Like, that is just such a massive accomplishment. And it's very much a following. As well, I guess, going back to, and again, I'm going rogue again, but culture as well. Like, one thing that I would have to notice as a customer of yours is the culture with your staff.
Yeah.
And something that we talk a lot about in the podcast is how you manage your team and how you manage the people around you. How do you actually bring, like, obviously I know in your bubbly personality and so extremely humble, your staff are also very much like that.
Yeah.
How do you manage and train them, especially being a young female? Not to say that, it'd be different for you and Mitch, but being a young woman, how do you motivate and train your staff and keep that kind of positive attitude? Because that definitely reflects back as a customer.
I think it all starts from the interviewing process itself. Like, hospitality has always missed that. It's, I know as someone who's come into a job, it's hey, I've looked at your resume online, come in for a trial. After an hour, they're like, yep, you can do the job, you'll do. Yeah. And Mitch and I have never settled for someone who wants a paycheck. Like, I understand that people are looking for money. Like, that's the end goal, right? But most of my team are people who have, like, either been customers previously or they've applied to us because they've come into the store or they know the business model. Anyone who's kind of coming in for a paycheck knows nothing about the business in the interview process. It's kind of a red flag for me. And I know that sounds really silly, but I would rather work an extra 15 hours a week than hire someone that's going to be there for 3 months and then peace out, because it shows now and it reflects in our team, because, like our Fumi, who's one of our most amazing, like, team members, he's been with us for 3 years now.
That's a long time in hospo. Like, I think the average is like, 9 months or
something like that. And then if you, like, count all the other people that have been with us for a year, I've got, 2 chefs in our kitchen have been with us for a year. I've got, all our amazing other team, Ari, Kia, Lily, like Alini, like, we've got almost probably half of our team has been with us for at least a year. And
they're all like, and even they're so positive, they're all happy. It's like, I've walked in before and, like, I've had a wave from the chef, and it's very much a community. It feels like a community.
And that's what we
in all the stores.
Yeah. And with the hiring process, we hire on personality rather than on...
Like, you can train the skill.
Yeah, I can train someone to make a coffee, but I can't train someone to be a nice, decent human being, to ask questions, take initiative, and also someone who's not going to disrupt the flow of our culture, because that's also important. My workplace and your workplace are going to have different cultures, and that's cool, because what works in your work's not going to necessarily work in mine, vice versa. But our team are all, like, early morning people, and... we all get along outside of work. I know the crew went out and did a quiz night the other night, and a few of the boys went surfing together the other day. And
you spend so much time with the people you work with. Like, I'm kind of the same in that, like, I spend more time with my team than I do at home with my family. So you have to get along. You have to.
Hugely.
I also feel like you have to also be aligned, like your goals and where you're going and that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's a big thing I know in our team. Breaking down, I guess, talking team, can you break down what you and Mitch do at the business, and do you have set roles?
Yeah.
Like, this is his portion, this is my portion. Can you tell me what that looks like?
Yeah, for sure. So at the start it was a little bit mismatchy, but now I do all the accounting, all the kind of HR, most of the hiring. Dylan, who's our manager, who's been with us for 2 years, he's awesome. He does all the, like, trials and so forth, but... Yeah, I kind of do all the HR, all the accounting, so I know every bit of money that comes in and out of the business, which is another great point for anyone starting out small business. Keep on your own expenses. Don't sway too much on that, and get an accountant straight away. I'm not an accountant, a bookkeeper. Yeah. But and then Mitch is really the creative side of the business. So he does all the menus, all the food costings, he does all the ordering. Yeah. That's kind of his role. We're very chalk and cheese, but we work so well together because
you have those kind of set things. Well, who makes the decision? So do you have to taste test everything that?
Absolutely.
I was like, hey, do you ever need, like, an opening for that? Can I come in?
I will call you up.
I will come in. I'm like, oh, yes.
You may have to get up at, like, 2:00 in the morning to come do some taste testing.
Like, anyone who knows me, if you drive past the Miami store, like, I literally, like, drive in, run in, get my coffee, hop back in the car, head to work. The other day I visited twice because I got a Red Bull on my way as well.
Yes, it is.
I feel like our energy would actually be the same. Like our workplace is probably the same because we're really, the girls and I were very hype girls. It's very much high energy, and that's what we do get at your stores, which is amazing. Going back to community, I guess in your Gold Coast connection, UAE Bagels, it does feel like it belongs to the Gold Coast. And people are fiercely loyal to your brand, mate, fiercely. What do you think, why do you think that connection's been so strong?
Going back to culture, like honestly, like having an amazing team that care. But I think I'll try not to cry when I say this because I was talking to a customer the other day about it and I bawled my eyes out. But, you know, like when we moved our Palm Beach store, oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. When we moved our Palm Beach store, like everyone was so excited for us, like our customers. And, you know, that really brought together our community. And I mean, you know, everyone, even from our other stores would come in and they'd be like, hey, like, we're so excited for you. Like, what's going on? Like, tell us more. And I think that's what kind of gets you over the line. And we've never been people who want to put QR codes on the table because we want that community touch point. And I think in times being tough at the moment, $10 is $10, but it does go a long way for some people, and people want that connection, and that's what we bring to the community. You're going to come in and you're going to speak to people. You'll probably touch point with 2 or 3 people in the team at that given point. But all of our team will always ask you how your day is, or
it is an
ask you how your
experience. It's
food
not just
is.
the food. It's you now going for an experience. You now, everyone's having chats and talking to you meet people. The dogs. Yeah. The dogs are like
hugely.
Oh my God, I love when like you walk in there and there's like 2 or 3 puppies around, everyone's talking like that is. You tell me a little bit about you have 2 dogs?
I have 2 beautiful Labradors.
I saw photos because so you guys know I creep all of my guests' Instagrams. I dig deep. What are their names? How long have you had them?
So we adopted Honey about 18 months. Oh no, actually not even 18 months ago. What am I lying? We adopted Honey in October last year. So she is a blonde lab.
Yes.
She's a little bit crazy.
She's very pretty.
She is very pretty, little pink nose. We got her from, we're not sure, like a farm up north in Sunshine Coast. So they sadly we're going to euthanize her because they couldn't find a home, and we're like, we'll foster her, we'll give her up in 2 weeks.
Fostering never, like it's never come, you know, I'll just foster for a little bit. That dog's not going home. That's
you know
home.
what it's like. You have a dog. It was, I sat there and looked at her and went, I can't. But funny enough, her and our other dog, which we renamed Lox after a bagel.
Yes.
So Lox is a chocky lab.
Yep.
We've had her for 18 months, and she was the jewel of my eye. Like she's such a well-behaved little dog. Well, not little, she's 35 kilos, but she's a well-behaved dog, and, you know, she'll do everything. And when her and Honey met, they actually got into a really bad fight, scratched each other up, and we thought, oh no, this isn't going to work for fostering.
Girls be getting mad. Yeah. This is like alpha, like queen bee. Yep.
Thick as thieves together now. Like
now they're menaces together.
They're menaces together. They like, you know, they sleep on the same bed. Like the other morning I woke up and they were like snuggled in the same crate together, and like that's the type of relationship that they have. But I don't have kids at the moment, so, you know, for me that's...
Oh, they're the most beautiful. I looked at them like, oh my God, she's the most beautiful dogs. For everyone knows, I just got a dog. It has been a experience for someone who's always had cats.
Oh.
Like I just found out that I have to brush my dog's teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got reprimanded by the vet. I was like, no one told me I needed to do this. I'm very much on learning. Look, Lucky has brought so much joy and love into our lives, but it is, I have 2 children. Yeah. This dog is way more work at the moment.
But they don't speak back to you.
No, and he eats my food.
Oh yeah.
And like I'm a terrible cook, and he eats my food, doesn't complain. He's like, now I go and buy him organic mince from that butcher down at Waterways in the rice cooker. Like the dog eats better than the whole family.
Oh, same with ours. Like we had roast veggies. Mitch made gravy last night for them, so they got gravy with their dinner.
Yes.
Like,
he smiles at me, and I'm like, you know what? You don't complain. Wait till he's like, can I have dessert yet? No, eat dinner. I guess the main reason for this podcast is to motivate and inspire other Gold Coast business owners, women making moves, and I guess that's one of the main questions that I always ask every guest is, what's advice that you would give? Look, it can be man or women, but majority of our listeners are women. Yeah. That you would give starting out in business, younger, older, any kind of demographic, but a woman who wants to start a business and turning their passion project into something that's real. Yeah. And, you know,
I know it sounds cliche, just do it. Like,
Haley Bate have said exactly the same thing. Yeah.
It sounds really silly, but I think, you know, I go back to Mitch and I taking a little bit of risk and take educated risk, like think about it, but don't always listen to everyone around you, because your biggest supporters sometimes will be the people that don't even know you in business. And something that we kind of did over our years and we're still doing is we're growing our business network connections of people in the industry. So, you know, we love our family and our friends, but they haven't all worked in hospitality before. So we kind of know obviously a little bit more. So, you know, Mitch's old boss, he was amazing, and he used to own the Oak in Mudra Bar.
Yep.
And he had been such a big business advocate for us. So my advice would be to surround yourself with people in your industry and go and try what you want to do. So if you want to go and open a food truck, go and work for someone in a food truck for a bit and make sure that that's the right thing for you.
Yeah.
If you want to open a jewelry store, go and learn the craft. Learn on someone else's time and money.
Yeah.
Because you will figure out very quickly, like I'm sure a lot of people do. They go to uni, they go, yeah, I want to be a doctor or a lawyer. And then they go, oh, this isn't for me. I know I did that. I went to uni and thought I wanted to do something, and I dropped out 3 times. And like.
That is such a thing for when I was growing up. It was like you leave school and you go to uni.
Yeah.
And then so many of my friends now went to uni, got their degrees, and then went, no, I'm not. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But you committed so much, and you're in not a huge amount of debt, but you're in enough debt that you're probably not going to be able to buy your first house if you don't go into that career.
Yeah.
That's really good advice. I love that. Go in and try it first. Like step in there and give it a go.
I think a lot of people as well, like I have so many people who ask me, they're like, oh, would you open a cafe? And full transparency, I would never open a cafe. But we don't own a cafe. We own bagel shops, and that's what we're known for, right?
Yeah.
The coffee is the extra. And I always say to people, I'm like, you know, everyone thinks it's this beautiful 6-to-1 lifestyle. That's what we're open. But Mitch and I
just said if I want a taste test, it's 2 a.m.
90 hours a week. Mitch and I sometimes clock in at 9:00. We're up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes like we close our doors at 1, but the other day, like I didn't go home until 5 p.m. So, you know, we hustle hard. Yeah, you could probably make a living and do what you want to do, open a small cafe, but I love what I do. That's why I do the hours that I do.
You can see it as well.
Yeah,
honestly, when I first met you, you do ooze that kind of, it's such a happy and lovely aura that you have. But yeah, you can tell that you love it, and that's so refreshing to walk into as well. I guess I always ask as well, what do you guys see moving forward? Like, what does success look like for you? Like, where are your goals? Where are your goals over the next year, 2 years, 5 years, anyone?
So there's so many different measures of success for myself. Yeah. Like, I think I feel successful now in a
I would say
different
you
way.
are,
like, I'm successful because I've hit my goals that I thought I was going to achieve in 10, 15 years. So, like, I feel success in that sense.
Yeah.
But I'm also someone who just doesn't sit still. I have, like, almost like ADHD. Like,
we all do.
Yeah, I feel like that's why we are in business and why we do what we do. But I'm always thinking about the next 6 months, 12 months, what's kind of going to come. And I think, you know, the beauty of it is that I do have Mitch who kind of pulls me back and reins me in a little bit. But a goal that I'm setting for myself is to reach out to lots of people in the industry, people that aren't in the industry, for things like collaborations, for advice from different industries as well, to gain knowledge, because I can be in hospitality and I can learn a lot of things. But my background before I was in hospitality, I did 6 years in telecommunications. So I think that taught me just an uber amount of skills that I never thought I'd need, but sales techniques. And I worked for Optus for a long time, and my boss was, Oh
my God. Guys, I worked for Optus.
Yeah, and you get these different skills, and you would have transferred them over into your real estate. Because
I got poached from my Optus store to be in real estate. The sales manager at my previous company poached me because I sold him. He was like, I'm a Vodafone user. I'm never going to go anywhere else but Vodafone. I sold him 2 phone plans, signed his internet up, something else. He came back the next day and offered me a job. How good is telecommunications for sales training? It's not about, oh my God, yes.
It was the worst and best job ever. Like, I think, you know, like, you get people,
so hard.
You know, being women in that industry as well was always tough. And like, I managed stores for 5 years of that. And like, it was crazy. But like, the skill set to be able to show empathy to a customer when they come in the door, and to read a customer, like, I think that transfers over into food and beverage. You know, you'll come in and not everyone has that skill set, and you'd have that same skill set in real estate. It's like, okay, how much do you want to get out of the conversation? How much does that customer want to chat? How much do they know? Okay, so I'll watch a customer come into Miami, right? And they will go and look at the menu board, and I will know straight away whether they've been in there or not. And if they haven't, I can kind of get a gauge, and then I can throw a couple of different questions at them, and that will gauge how my interaction is going to go. How much can I upsell to them? How much can I cross-sell to them?
Yeah.
What should I talk to them about? If they're really silent, they don't give me much and they've got something, I'll usually find some sort of common ground to communicate with them. Child, dog, something that they're wearing, ask them about the weather, what they've been up to for the week, have they watched the World Cup, for example.
Oh, this is so phone sales.
Yeah.
Like this is telecommunications.
And you create that emotional bond.
Yes.
So the food is not just the food anymore. They're not just coming in for food and coffee. They're coming
creating
in for
a
this
relationship.
emotion.
Yes.
And that's a skill set that Optus taught me. And
what's the Optus thing? Yes.
And the training was really good. And, you know, I try and teach our team that. And funny enough, one of our girls, Kia, she came in, she went somewhere for a coffee, like, on her day off, and she comes in the next day. She goes, mortified. I was like, why? She's like, they just didn't even ask me how my day was at the counter. They just tapped my card. I was like, but now you get it that you've worked it. She goes, I understand why it's so important, Emily. Like, why you've trained us the way that you have is because it's important, because I just gave up $7 for an ice long black and I got a coffee, but I've got no emotional attachment.
Experience
so
from it.
she's like, why would I come back? I waited 35 minutes. If someone had said, hey, how's your day? Sorry, it was just going to be a bit, we're behind. Would have changed the entire conversation. She would have been like, no stress, I'll just come back.
Yep. It was, I don't know, like, and this is like going off topic, but I don't know if it was for you, but like as a woman in the telecommunications industry, I always felt like people were constantly coming up to me asking me to fix things. They would go to the man to buy something and I would come to like the customer service, and it really taught me customer service, and like I would give everyone that so much service and then they would come back and trust me and buy their phones from me. And so much of my business was built on maybe having 2 or 3 conversations that weren't going to end up at a sale. Those clients came back and they were the quickest sales. Hi, Katrina, I'm upgrading this, and this, in and out. But yeah, I've sat there for 30 minutes and showed you how to divert your phone through the app or through the phone, or
setting up MMS portal systems.
And just, you know, sitting down with someone. And yes, like now I think it's a bit different. Like I remember doing that. I remember a couple of years after going into an Optus store and just being like, oh, there's the phone, you can call the help desk. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like there's a phone, there's a random, like it was,
I kind of feel like that with banking now. Like the service isn't, it's not there anymore. But I get it. I was selling Motorola flip phones, huh?
Oh. You better sell 10 flip phones for at least 10 Motorola for the month, and you got like 2 tickets to Sydney.
Yeah.
There was like all these amazing incentives, and I was like, everyone was walking out of that with it. I was like, didn't matter who you were going to buy a Razor.
Yeah.
Motorola, like everyone had to have one because I was going to Sydney that weekend and I had a concert to go to. Like, yeah, it was a really awesome time to be in customer service. So I love that you have that, because I don't think Holly even knows that. And I managed an Optus store for like 3-4 years. It's how I got into real estate.
Yeah.
Literally just said, you should come and sell houses instead of phones.
Yeah.
I was like, well, there's more commission, so okay.
Absolutely.
So we do this thing called a quick fire round.
Yes.
Where I ask you a whole lot of quick questions. Just say the first thing that pops into your head. I ask everybody this first question, but you are the one I want to know the most from. What's your coffee order?
Depends on how I'm feeling. I am a cold brew.
Yes.
I am an ice long black, or I'm a hot long black, depending on how I'm feeling.
So no milk?
No milk. If I'm really feeling like a bit of a down day, I will go for like all out an almond mocha.
Oh, that's my sister's order, isn't it? Yeah.
But like with Nutella, like
Jade's an almond mocha. She has the nut with the chocolate.
Yeah, otherwise black.
What's your favourite bagel on the menu?
Same thing. It just really depends on my thing. But I'm simple. Like brekkie bagel. At the moment, I've been all about a brekkie bagel with bacon and halloumi and hot honey.
Mine is the one with the capers on it.
The lox.
Yeah, mine's the lox. That's
if you like that, you should try the Italian cold cuts. I think you'd like that.
Yeah, I will. That's so because I buy the breakfast in the morning for the team. I get to pick it. So if Holly was buying breakfast, Holly would get that because she's a salami queen. But no, I love it. It's it's so good. It's my favorite. It's perfect. It's so light. It's not like heavy. It's tasty, but it's light. Sometimes when you get a bagel, they're so heavy and you feel a bit bloated. For some reason, that one doesn't. I love it. My husband gets the brekkie bagel though.
Because it's freshly baked every day in-house.
Yes.
So you're not getting stuff that's been sitting on a supermarket shelf.
No, maybe that's it. That's it. It is. It honestly is so light. It's a really nice, it's not too big. It's not too small. It is, it's a perfect breakfast one. I feel like I already know the answer to this question. Early bird or night owl?
Definitely an early bird.
I'm like, does it end up being night owl if you're getting up at 1 a.m.? Like, could we almost call that night? Yeah, okay.
I don't even know. Like, I mean, our Christmas bake, we baked in the morning, went home, had a nap, came back at 5 p.m., baked until 1 a.m., drove to Brisbane Airport and flew out, and then did like 16 hours of flying out to Japan. So I don't even know. Was it night or day, or we just didn't even know what time
my
it was.
next question is, where is your favourite dream, I guess, or favourite travel destination?
I have 3. So I love Japan. I've been twice now, and we live there obviously as well, but it's just the food, the culture. I go wherever food is. Food is my heart. Like food is this beautiful thing, which is what our business was kind of based off. It's around, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, what country you are, what language you speak, food is a love language and it brings people together. But that Mexico was absolutely amazing. We backpacked through Mexico for a month and we just ate. And ate.
This is why your food is so good, because you have you've eaten everywhere. It's, where's the third place?
I would love to go over to Spain, Portugal, do Europe. We haven't done that yet. We was on the cards to do and we just haven't had that opportunity. But there's
too busy.
Life's just busy. But that, and also to go up to the Northern Lights, but in Sweden and Norway, that's a bucket list thing for me to go on the train.
That's on my bucket list too, that one.
I've seen the Northern Lights, but just from a different angle.
I'm going to Europe in a couple of months. I was straight out of school, straight into a job, straight into real estate. I've been doing this for 18 or 19 years this year. I've never done a big trip like this, and I'm going with my husband for 3 weeks. I am petrified.
Don't be. Just
I was like, Holly, Penelope, Jade, don't blow up the business. Just give me a minute.
I've got you for coffee.
No. I think someone's, I don't know who's looking after the dog at this point. I'm not even worried about the kids. I'm like, is the dog okay? What are you binge watching at the moment?
Oh, lots of different things. So my mind-numbing, two things I watch for mind-numbingness. It's Two Broke Girls.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, just simple.
Yeah, you can walk away, come back.
Yeah. Same with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's...
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, really, really easy comedy. You can kind of pick it up from wherever.
Yeah.
At the moment, though, I haven't been binge watching because I just haven't had time to watch TV. I'm just audiobooking a lot of stuff at the moment.
Yeah, I've just got into reading. I bought a Kindle last year, and I'm now the reading is definitely, I've got that passion back. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
Business is like a gearbox. You can't go from first to fifth gear or you'll stall in business. So don't try and get ahead of yourself. Go from first to second, take your time and then move through your gearbox. Otherwise you will stall and you'll have to go back to the start. That
is amazing. Stop podcast. You need to put that on a trailer. All right. That was really good. I was like, oh, I love that. Okay, back to this. I ask everyone this question. If you could have dinner with anybody, who would it be?
There's two people, I think. One's business related, one's just personal related. Mitch and I talk about this person all the time, is Ned Brockman.
Who is that?
He is Australian of the Year, but he...
Oh, tennis player.
No, Ned Brockman...
Who am I thinking?
He ran from Perth to Sydney.
You're going to raise money. Okay,
yeah. Raise money for homelessness and for mental health and things. But he is amazing. He gave a really good piece of advice, and Mitch has always lived to this piece of advice now. And it is, we just don't even know what the human body is capable of. So push yourself every day because you never know what's going to happen next. And Mitch ran a marathon on the weekend after baking, getting up at 1 o'clock in the morning. He baked 500 bagels and went around a marathon.
I really love that answer, but you cannot have me on this podcast saying, who is this person? Emily?
So Ned Brockman, someone I'd love to sit at the table with, just to pick his brain to figure out there's a documentary, his documentary, his book I haven't read yet, but his documentary is amazing. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. But
I will look at that.
Yeah, he's an amazing human being, young guy, country boy, just wants to just give it a crack. But everything that he does not for his own benefit, not for the money, not for the fame. He does it for a reason. And so he. Hamish Blake, did his co-writing for his autobiography and things like that. So he's just an amazing human.
Yeah.
But if there's someone business that's actually local, is Kenton, who owns Zarafas. He's someone that I would love. He's got the most amazing story and history behind him and how he started Zarafas, and he started from nothing. And people didn't really want to give him a go, and he went through a pretty hard time. And the way he speaks about his wife, who is he just idolizes her.
I think I've heard him speak in an event before, but I've definitely heard stories about it's I don't know if this is there's quite a lot of real estate agents that are in business now that have had franchises, and again going back to the training and the culture, a lot of them just rave about the culture that is within that business.
Yeah, and I've met him a few times, and just the way that you see his brain work, it's you just see the wires connecting and going.
I think it's a coffee thing, guys. Like,
yeah,
kids are all like,
yeah. And he's a really good dude. Like, I've met him a few times, but I'd love to be able to sit down and like pick his brains,
have dinner with him, be like face to face.
And this is how do I get from A to B a little bit more and move that? But he's all about processes and systems and making sure things are, culture is good, and that's what I love. Like he's 20, 30 years ahead of me, but that's, he's someone that I do idolize in this industry.
I wouldn't have even picked that, but it's a culture that is, very, I could go through Zarafas and it is a different culture.
Yeah.
Like I can definitely pick that. If you weren't running UAE Bagels, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh, that's a tough one. Probably still snowboarding around the world.
Yeah.
Like we live on the Gold Coast. It's a beautiful place, and I feel on the Gold Coast that we have a very healthy lifestyle, and it's a place that you choose to live for the lifestyle, right? You don't choose to kind of work here or live here to go work in an office building, right? Like we live near the beach and we live near the mountains and things like that. But it was the same thing when I lived in Canada. Like it was a culture thing. I got up every day, I snowboarded, put my headphones in, sat and I'd have my bagel and my banana on the chairlift, and then I'd go skiing, even if it was for 2 laps for the morning, and then I'd start work, or whether I would do 6 hours without eating, and I'd just like be shredding like amazing snow. And that is what I loved. And, you would take small risks, a few risks, big risks, but, you do silly things and you'd have like the most amazing day, and you just come home on such a high and just such a dopamine hit. But I knew that every day that mountain was going to be there, and I could get up and do that. Or during summer I would go and hike, or,
it fills your cup.
Yeah, it fills my cup. And that's something that I love a lot, and I love being a cup half full or a cup half, rather than a cup half empty person, and looking to those things. But the lifestyle for me, probably that. If I wasn't doing that, if the course wasn't so boring at the time, I would go back to uni and I'd probably become a geneticist. I loved studying genetics at uni, but just the people I was with, it just wasn't for me. No one was social. Everyone was very scientists, and they just wanted to study. And I'm like, let's go out and have drinks on Friday and celebrate this. And just, it wasn't for me in the end. But
I'm so happy it wasn't. Very happy about that. Look, Emily, it has been such a treat. Like, before we go, obviously, I want to obviously thank you for coming in. This has been, for those who probably haven't picked it up in the pod, I was so nervous coming in because as I feel like I see you every second day, and like it is something that it is a Gold Coast phenomenon, and you should be so incredibly proud what you've created. And just hearing your story gives me so much kind of back context of what I experience when I come in. So thank you for that. And I love hearing that there is so much thought and detail and care that goes in behind of all that. Obviously, usually I shout out to where your locations are, but I feel like everybody knows where UAE Bagel is. To our listeners, guys, if you haven't tried UAE Bagels yet, mate, you are missing out. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I am so excited to have done this with you, and you are such an inspiration to young women out there that, you can do it and you can take a risk. And I think the advice that you've given today is probably some of the best that I've actually had on the podcast. So thank you.
Thank you so much.